Hello, my name is Esther Rocha, and I will be talking about the author Sandra Cisneros and her story, The Woman Hollering Creek. I really enjoy reading this story. Not only this story, but I also really enjoy this author because she has that Mexican American background, and I can really relate to it because I can. I was born in Mexico, but I came to America, to the United States, when I was 2 years old. So basically, I've been here all my life, even though I was born in Mexico. So I can relate myself to what she writes about. Um, so the reason I decided to read the story was because she really fights for the rights of the females. She believes that a woman should be happy, and she should not find happiness in something else or someone else. She should find it within her. Because women are beautiful, and they are created, and they're very special. Every woman is very special. And so in this story, we see the story of a woman who lives in Mexico. Her name is Clofilas. She lives in Mexico with her father and her 6 brothers. And we see how she's fine. She's fine where she's at. But she wants something new. She wants to experience that American dream. She wants to come to the other side. And she leaves. She has her brother. She has her father's blessing, and she comes to the United States, and she marries a guy that she does not know. But she's very naive. She's very naive when it comes to love, to romance, and she comes believing, that everything's gonna be good, that she's gonna have a lovey-dovey relationship with this guy, and everything's gonna be good. They're gonna get married, and just have a good life. And so, at the beginning, everything is pretty and roses, and everything seems to be okay. But later, in the story, we see how things start to shift. And excuse me, I will say my themes really quick before I get ahead of myself. The themes that I will be discussing in this story are an outsider identity, and as well as multiculturalism, because we see 2 cultures, the Mexican and the American, and just her identity, how she is. She has that outsider identity because she comes to America, and she does not speak English. She is very submissive to her husband. And like I was saying, everything's just good at the beginning, and things start shifting, and her husband becomes abusive. She just, I guess, she never thought something like that would happen to her, because she comes with this perspective, that everything's gonna be good, and and so her husband starts becoming abusive with her, and she has a child, excuse me. And after a while, she's pregnant with her second child. And what I like about Sandra is how she describes 2 types of women. Clofilas being one who has that traditional she's very traditional, like she's very submissive, and whatever the husband says, like old back in the days. And then we have the other side of a woman who's very just independent and does what she wants, and she speaks for herself and she fights for herself, which now in the present we see much more of that. Excuse me. So she decides to go to a clinic because she's pregnant, and in this clinic we see the nurses or the ladies that are helping her, and they're very independent, and they do not believe in that tradition that a woman should be submitted to the men. And so they try to help. They do help her. They help Clofilas to run and to escape from that abusive relationship. They help her, and something that I really really like was one of the names of the ladies that helped her. Well, her name was Felice, I think. If that's how you say it, Felice. And excuse me, let me find it. Okay, here we go. So Felice helps her escape, and Clofilas is very amazed. And Felice says that she transforms the holler of woman of the Hollering Creek from a cry, from a pain, from rage, to something that's laughter and freedom, and something just different. She believes that a woman should be happy, and a woman should fight for her rights, and we see how they help her. And she drives a truck. In the story it says that she drives a truck and that she's very independent. And Cleophilas is very amazed. She's shocked to see this, because she never thought woman were like that. And so she escapes, and she goes back to her father. And at the beginning she was fighting it. She was fighting it because she was prideful. She didn't want to go back, and her father or her brothers be like, oh, where's your husband? You went to the other side because you thought you were going to have a better life, a better chance, better opportunities. But eventually she decides to go back, and what I like about it is that her father is very he opens up his arms, and he takes her, and she goes back home. But overall, this story is just awesome itself, because we see how many women experience this, back in the days, and even up until now, maybe a little less now, because women have more freedom, but it's something that's real and happened. And a woman just many women would come thinking that life would be better over here, but like I said, it's two different cultures. Mexico is very different from America, and when you come from a different culture, it's just very hard at the beginning, and you are guided by someone else. You find protection in someone else. In this case, Cofilas found it in her husband, but it did not turn out good. But I really enjoy reading the story. I found it very interesting, and I hope I made sense of whatever I'm trying to explain here. Um, and so I used for my sites, not my sites, my sources, excuse me. The two of my sources that I used were Encyclopedia and a New York Times, new news, news, New York news, um, and yeah. So I hope I make sense. Like I said, um, I've read and reread and read the story, and every single time I found something new when I was reading, and I found it very interesting, and maybe I'm not the best at explaining this, but I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, thank you.